fellow crafters, here are some crafts from Christmases past. Now I found this Dollar Tree cutting board just recently, so it should still be there. And we're going to take the rope and the oink off the front, and it has some kind of paper that we're going to peel off. So the back of the paper came off kind of rough, so we're going to just flip it over, and we're going to give the front of it a rough coat of the white chalk paint, and we're just going to make it look weathered. So in a minute here, I'm going to take a paper towel and just rub it in and give it that old wood kind of look. Now that we have the coat of the white chalk paint, we're going to take a paint stir stick and we're going to give it a coat of the antique wax on all sides. So we're going to use some fabric that I got from Walmart. We're going to use some twine. We're going to use some berry picks and a greenery that came in a pack. This is dry, so we're going to measure up the stick we're going to use for the brim of the hat. Now I measured and I cut it, and we're just going to put it off to the side for right now. For the top of the hat, we're going to go back to the antique wax, and we're just going to take a paper towel and a brush and rub it on there and get it coated, and then we're going to set it aside and let it dry. We're going to take our paint stir stick, we're going to put a line of glue down, and we're going to glue it down onto the cutting board for the brim of the hat. I want to cover up the hole at the top of the cutting board, so we have these snowflake wooden cutouts from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue it down. So now we got to give his hat some decoration. So I have these red holly berries that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to just cut a small little section off. And then I have this length of pine that I think I got in a bag from Hobby Lobby. And I didn't think one piece was enough. So I'm going to cut it into two. And I decided there would be a good spot to glue it down. And I glued both pieces down. And then glue the holly berries right on top of it. And there you have it. Well, you've probably figured it out by now, but we're making a snowman face with a hat and his little hat and a brim and some decorations. I took a pencil and I made some rough eyes, a nose, and a mouth, and I erased them because I didn't want the pencil lines on there. Just enough where I could cover them up with the black chalk paint. So right now we're going to color in the nose and the mouth with the black chalk paint, and then we're going to take some of the orange and we're going to fill in the nose. It's the apple barrel orange. I think it's pumpkin orange. It sticks a lot better on the wood than it does on the other stuff I was using, so it colored in pretty well. So now we're going to take some of this Walmart quarters, the plaid, the red and black plaid, and we're going to cut a length of it to give him a scarf. So first I cut it, and then I'm going to fold it in half to make the scarf. Now that we have a scarf cut to length, because it's not printed on both sides, I'm going to fold it in half and hot glue it, and then give him a scarf that looks like it's supposed to be there. So I trimmed it up, I'm going to flip it over, put some hot glue down, and tack it down. Then I want to give him a little tail to his scarf, so I'm taking an extra piece and doing kind of a V-fold on it. Now that we have the tail down, I'm going to take a button and just give it a little bit of a decoration, get rid of some of the pencil marks that I could still see. And then I just took some white just to give his eyes a little bit of that sparkle and shine. I hope you guys like this one, and now on to the next one. So today we're going to take two of these Dollar Tree snowflakes. They're the MDF snowflakes, and we're going to take some white chalk paint. We're going to give it all the sides and edges, which was a little bit of a pain, but it looks better that way. A good coat of the white chalk paint, and then we're going to take a paper towel and we're going to kind of rub some of that paint off, kind of give it an aged look. And we have to do that with both snowflakes on both sides. Now that our snowflakes are dry, you want to take whatever side looks the best. Right here I'm just lining up the two holes where the strings were, so I know that they're the same. Then we're going to take some of the Dollar Tree blocks. We're going to take one and we're going to hot glue it right in the middle. Then we're going to take two more. Well, first I'm going to check to make sure that, yep, everything lines up. Then we're going to take two more and glue it to each side, right and left of that one block. So we have the Dollar Tree lights, the Christmas lights, in just the clear white, but they do come in a lot of different colors. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some batteries in them, and then we're going to start weaving them from the back of the snowflake. And I glued it down to the first block. Now, in the other clip, I said I glued 3 blocks down, but I only started with the one in the middle. And then later on, you're going to see that I put 2 more blocks in there just for stability. And we glued the lights down, tried to hide the wires as much as possible. And when you put the other one on, this is what it looks like. There it is, all lit up, ready to go. And I think it looks pretty good. What you're going to do is just put a hanger on it. The snowflakes already have holes, so just put the twine through, make a knot, and you're ready to go. And there you go. Now this one is complete. This one is going to be a snowman salt shaker. First you need 1 to 1.5 inch wooden ball. I think I got these from Michael's, and some white chalk paint, and we're going to give it 2 coats to completely cover it. While the paint's drying, we're going to take the salt shaker and we're going to put some of this fake snow in there that I got from the Dollar Tree. And then they had this glitter. I don't know, it's not really glitter, but it came in red and green. So we're going to put some red in there and shake it up, get it mixed up in there. And then we're going to take some green buttons and we're going to hot glue them to the front of them for the buttons on his suit. Now that the paint's dry for the snowman's head, we're going to take some black and give him eyes and a mouth. And we're going to use the orange and give him a carrot for a nose. I don't know why this orange doesn't stick very well on the paint. But anyway, then we take the top of the salt shaker and glue it onto his head, and then glue the head onto the salt shaker body. Taking the fabric that I got from Walmart, I cut a length of it off, and we're going to use it for a scarf. We're just going to run a line of glue around the neck of the salt shaker, and then wrap it around, and then tack it down, crisscross it, make a nice looking scarf. And then we're going to trim the ends up. And there you have it. You have a little salt shaker snowman. So I had this container that had Parmesan cheese in it from Costco. And with the cap on top, I thought it kind of looked like a snowman. So I saved it, and right now I cleaned it, and then I'm giving it 2 coats of white chalk paint. The can to the side is a washed out tuna can. I ran it through the dishwasher, and we're going to use it for the top hat of the snowman. I'm giving it a coat of the black chalk paint, 2 coats of the black chalk paint. It actually came out pretty well. The paint on it, it stuck really good, so I'm happy about that. So while the snowman's drying, I was given this coat of the paint. Now that the snowman's dry, I'm going to take some E6000 and some hot glue, and I'm going to run a line of glue along the edge of the old tuna can, and I'm going to put some hot glue on there so it sticks right away. And it didn't stick right away, so I had to do it again. But now that we're done, we're going to give him a little hat band, and I like this buffalo, black and white plaid buffalo check. So we're going to cut a strip of this. This is the fabric I got from Walmart. We're going to cut a strip, make sure it's long enough to wrap all the way around. There you go. And then we're going to trim it down some more. It was too wide. So I'm just using that line as an example. I'm using that line as a guide, and I'm just cutting it to fit on there. And then I'm going to take some hot glue, and I'm going to just glue it around the edge, or the middle, the middle of the tuna can. Try not to burn myself again. And then we're just gonna cut the excess off and glue it down. Now that that's done, we're going to, okay, I put his hat on, and then we're going to take some black chalk paint and we're going to do the eyes and the mouth for the snowman. And this is just a rough, I didn't like put any marks on or anything. I just made the face, went for it. And we're going to take some of the orange and we're going to give him a carrot nose. So now I'm just going to give his hat band a little garnish. We have some the pine with one of the wooden snowflakes from the Dollar Tree and a little red bell. And I'm just going to glue that to the hat band and then glue the snowflake with the bell on top of it. And there you go. Now, I think he needed something on the bottom because he was looking plain. So I think I lost some footage there, but I just cut some fabric, rolled it up, glued it, and glued it to the bottom of the snowman. And then I wanted him sitting a little higher, so I had a candlestick from Temu, and I just glued them on top. So today we're going to make a pine cone topiary using some products, mostly from the Dollar Tree. We got some from Big Lots. We got the pine cones from Big Lots, the bucket from Dollar Tree. We're going to take some nail polish remover and remove the lettering on here. This is for Christmas, so you don't want it to say flowers. And it came off real easy with the nail polish remover. Once we have that done, we're going to move on to the next step. So now we're going to take the pine cones. These are actually from the Christmas tree shop, but I got them at Big Lots. They were only $3 per bag. I got 3 bags. I just went through them and found the best looking one because some of them were kind of beat up. And I got the styrofoam ball from Joann's just because I was there. So what I'm doing is just taking the pine cones and just trying to match them up as best as I can so they fit as close to as possible together. So there's not a lot of white space in between. And you just want to go around the whole ball and do that. Okay, so now we have our pine cones glued on half of the styrofoam ball because the other half is going to be sitting in the bucket. Now for the white space in between the pine cones, I was thinking about getting the little pine cones, but I didn't feel like running out. So I had these pine sprigs. So what I'm doing is I'm just cutting them into lengths and filling in the white spaces, cutting them, hot gluing them, and then some needed 3, some needed 4, but it filled it in. Now that we have all the white spaces filled in with the pine, we're going to take some of the Dollar Tree lights, the clear white lights that cost $1.25, $1.25, and we're just going to start weaving them into the pine cones and trying to hide the wire as best we can. You can kind of bend the pine around it so you can't see the wire as much. And I was going to put 2 on, but I think 1 does it. And you don't even have, we're going to put the battery pack in the pot. And we have the lights on, and we're just going to drop the battery pack into the bucket. But first we're going to put this red buffalo check ribbon on the front, 2 for $1.25 on the Dollar Tree. And there you have it. It's all complete, lit up, and when you want to turn it off, you just lift it up and turn the battery pack off. Hope you guys like it. We're going to make a sign for winter time. I got this at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to take the red check ribbon off the top of it. And that's off. We're going to take some white chalk paint, and I have all these different colors we're going to use. So we're going to take the white chalk paint, and we're going to give it a thorough coat of the white chalk paint. I'm not doing a messy coat on this one. Then I have the SNO letters, and I have the snowflake that I got from Hobby Lobby. It was 66% off, so it was really cheap. And I have this light gray chalk paint, and I'm going to paint each of the S, N, and W with the light gray chalk paint. After I got done with the light gray, I didn't think it popped enough. So what I'm going to do is take some of the black chalk paint or acrylic paint, I'm not sure, acrylic paint, and I'm going to outline the letters. I wish I had done this before. It would have probably been a lot easier, but it did make them pop. Now I have the snowflakes from the Dollar Tree, and I have this metallic gray, and I'm going to give the snowflakes each, I did 2 coats of the metallic gray on the front of the snowflakes. Okay, now that the painting of the letters is done and they're all outlined, I'm just giving them a rough sand just to get some of the paint off the front of them and to just give it a little bit more of dimension. Now I'm going to set it up so I can see where everything goes. I'm going to use some hot glue and I'm going to glue it down. Just make sure that I get the backs coated good with glue and get the letter turned the right way, and it was crooked, so I took it off and did it again. Now for the snowflake, getting all the little edges, make sure it sticks good because it's a hanging sign or a leaner, so you don't want the letters to fall off. And now the last letter, get that put down, and then it's onto the little snowflakes. And I just positioned them wherever I thought they looked good. There wasn't a whole lot of room left on that sign after the letters were put on, so just wherever they would fit, and I thought they looked good. So I had put the original hanger back on, but I'm going to do a little bit of greenery at the top, and I just wanted to give it a little bit more surface to stick to. So I'm just taking some twine and I wrapped it around a couple times, and I'm gonna hot glue it down. Then just kind of, if it does show, which it ends up not really showing anyway, just to make it look a little bit like it's supposed to be there. I'm going to take some of this greenery, and there's 2 different pieces, and I'm going to just take some twine, tie them together, wrap it around a couple times and make a knot. It's going to be covered anyway, so I just want to make it secure with the twine. I'm going to take some hot glue and glue it to the top right above the S there. And then I have some of the white berries that I just took off a pick from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to glue those to the middle of it right where I had the twine, hide the twine there. There you go. Glue it down. Just fluff it out some. Late. So what I'm doing is I'm going to make a little freestanding sign. My husband cut me a piece of fence slat, and I'm just sanding the edges because it was a little rough. Then we're going to just clean it off, get all the sawdust off. Then we're going to take some antique wax, and we're just going to use a chip brush and give it a coat of antique wax on there. Sorry, it was a little out of focus. Then I'm going to take some white paint and some dark brown black paint, and we're just going to just give it some aging. Just going to go in over top of it now. It's a little dry. You're going to hit the edges and just make it look old, weathered. And that's going to be it for the first part of this craft. So I have these paper mache letters, N, E, and L. We're going to spell Noel. I tried painting them. I tried red, I tried green, I tried brown, I tried antique wax. Nothing worked. So I had this paper laying around, this buffalo check paper, and I'm going to just Mod Podge that on there. So right now I'm just tracing the letters. I'm going to cut them out, and then we're going to Mod Podge them down. And when you put it on, you're going to see that it's not quite perfect. So later on, we're going to take an X-Acto knife and we're going to trim the edges off. I thought the end was going to be the hardest. The end actually turned out to be the easiest. It was the E that was giving me all the trouble. But there we have it. So after I have the buffalo check on there, I didn't think it looked good with the brown, so I'm taking some black chalk paint and just giving all the sides that don't have the paper a coat of chalk paint. I wish I had done this before, it would have been a lot easier. And now now that it's all dry, I'm going to take the X-Acto knife and I'm going to trim the excess paper off from the back and just peel it off. Make sure you don't rip it. It's way easier if it's dry. My husband made me this shepherd's hook out of weld wire and drilled a hole for me. We glued it and taped it into the shepherd's hook into the hole. And I made marks, I measured and laid out where the letters should go, and I'm just gluing them down with hot glue. Then I have this little ornament from the Dollar Tree that goes on the bottom of the shepherd's hook, and it spells out the word Noel. I have these pine sprigs and I'm just going to cut them and kind of bend them, giving it a little bit of like almost a wreath, but not circular, just a little decoration. And then I'm going to take the berries and I'm going to just wrap them around after I glue these together. And the reason I'm doing this is to give it a little bit more of a garnish, a little bit more of a winter feel. I am going to make another sign. I wanted to get this one out sooner, but I'm going to make another one of these signs and I'm going to use snow. So I wanted to see how this looked. And this is more of like a Christmas one. So the red berries and the wreaths give it more of a Christmas feel. After I got the pine sprigs down with the berries, I thought it just needed a little bit something more to fill in some of the dead space. So I still had some of those pine cones left over from the pine tree topiary. So I just took my glue gun and I glued some of the smaller ones I could find in that bag down to the front of the and back of the letters. And there you have it. That's what it looks like. Couple more Christmas videos. I hope you guys like these. I'm going to try to get one more video out before it gets too late to make them for Christmas. Thanks for watching. Bye.